What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harrison, and what a huge day it has been so far, and it's not even 1 o'clock yet while I'm recording this. Obviously, I've watched the Switch 2 presentation direct. I thought it was incredible. I mean, they gave us pretty much everything that I could personally want outside of, a brand new Zelda game, like a traditional. I know we got the Hyrule Warriors spinoff game, which looks great. Mario was oddly out of this presentation, but I'm sure we'll get it probably in a September presentation, and it could still come out this year. Obviously, Mario Kart was the big focus because this game is going to sell like crazy. It's gonna sell for the next 6, 7, 8 years for Nintendo Switch 2. It's gonna be a huge game for Nintendo and for the Switch 2, and it looks really awesome. It's exactly what I wanted. The free roam, I talked about it in a previous video before, kind of that's what would get me excited about the next Mario Kart, and they're doing it. It looks incredible. We got to talk about the price of games. Nintendo, obviously, with the launch of Xbox Series X and PlayStation, PlayStation kind of set that precedent in this, in the current generation, with $70 games, and a lot of people were very, very, very upset back then. And rightfully so. I mean, games don't feel that much better to play than they did on like Xbox One and PlayStation 4, if I'm just being kind of brutally honest. We were promised all these things about 4K and 60 frames per second, and most games, they can't do both. And we're still going between quality and performance. And that's definitely the case here with the Nintendo. But Metroid Prime 4, I mean, 4K 60, that's pretty darn awesome at 120 FPS. Most games on the current Xbox and PlayStation games can't do that, so that's very impressive to me. That being said, $70 games was a lot to ask for, and Nintendo never had a price increase, on the Switch, just because they really couldn't. I mean, the Switch was such an old piece of tech that they just couldn't really get away with charging 70. They wanted to, obviously, and they did with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And, I thought back then, that was an okay asking. Like, I wasn't mad about it being 70. It was very interesting that it was 70 versus, and that was the only $70 game that they had that was like the standard edition. But, I thought Tears of the Kingdom was worth the $70. It didn't bother me to pay it. Now we jump here a couple years later, and we are now at a precipice, I would say, of games going up again. Nintendo is definitely setting the precedent for the 10th generation, because this is I don't consider, this is a 10th generation system. This isn't on par or the same generation as the Xbox and Xbox Series S and X and PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro. This is a new generation, and Nintendo off the bat, it's setting the tone that, hey, our games are going to be $80, or are they? Because we now have a look. So here's the official Nintendo page, just showing off Mario Kart World, which again looks really great. $80. I'm seeing some stuff now. I don't know if this is officially confirmed, but I'm seeing stuff where digital is 80, but then the physical edition is 90. So I'm not sure if that's 100% confirmed, if that's the way it's going to be for every single Nintendo game going forward. If it's going to be, whether it's 70 or 80, it's always going to be a $10 difference for physical. And we also learned that if the game does not fit on the cart, it's just going to be pretty much a licensing, that you're gonna if you buy the game physical, you're going to put the cartridge into the slot, and then it's basically a license, and then you will then download the game onto your Switch 2. So that's also very interesting. So I don't know. I'm always for physical, but in cases like that, there's kind of no point other than just it. And I guess that's always been the case, right? That it's always just been kind of something to look at on a shelf. So what's really the difference? But the physical game isn't going to be on the card, which kind of stinks. So yeah, there we go. It's $80, but also I saw that Donkey Kong Bonanza is $69.99, so it's 70. So Nintendo, and I really hate when companies don't clarify their prices from the get go. It's really annoying, and Nintendo has kind of always been that way. Like I mean, they said when they announced Tears of the Kingdom was going to be 70, they were going to tell go by the games being case by case basis, and I get that, but Nintendo the entire generation of the Switch has been all over the place in terms of their pricing. I mean, we have something like Metro Prime Remastered that was $39.99, and then you jump to something like Luigi's Mansion 2 that was $59.99. So it's like, even for their remakes and remasters, the prices are still different as well. And I thought, from what it seems like, more work went into Metro Prime Remaster than it did with Luigi's Mansion 2. But also, I mean, I understand, they have to think about what's going to sell. If they were to price Metro Prime Remastered at $60, it wouldn't have sold nearly as well as it did at that $40 price tag. And they can kind of get away with charging $60 for Luigi's Mansion 2 because they know that game is going to sell a decent amount. So, like they said, case by case scenario. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to pay $80. I did go onto Nintendo's website and opted in for the pre-order for or the email notification should say for the $4.99 model. So you're essentially saving, and I'm already going to get Mario Kart anyway, so you're saving $30 by getting the bundle, which is nice. If Nintendo does these bundles, it does certainly help out, but the thought of paying $80 for a video game, a standard video game, and then $90 for physical. I feel like we're in dangerous territories right now with video games. I mean, we've been lucky that, back in like the 64 era and before, games were all over the place, and now, it's pretty much been, it was $59.99 for a very, very long time, with the 360 and PS3 generation, and then it's jumped now to $69.99. But here we are, a few years later, and we're up in the prices again. Where does it stop? I guarantee you, Mario Kart is $80. GTA 6 is going to be $100. I got a feeling. $99.99 standard edition. If Mario Kart can get away with $80, and it will, and it can, GTA 6 is absolutely going to be a $100 video game. It's gonna be wild times here in the near future, and I don't love it. I don't like the idea of spending $80 for it. It would be different if it was maybe $70 for digital and then $80 for physical, sure, because it obviously it costs money to print cartridge, make cartridges and in the box and stuff like that. Although we've been doing it for 40 years now, so. Anyways, it's a little frustrating, and I see a lot of people online are very upset. I mean, we'll just look at. I mean, $80 is trending right now, or it was a moment ago. It was trending on Twitter. So yeah, just $80 digital game, $90 physical. That's what we're seeing. It sucks. Wow, way to kill all momentum and hype for the Switch too. $80 digital games and $90 fucking dollars for physical. 4 games would be the cost of the fucking console. I feel zero remorse in emulating. This is literal robbery, and I don't disagree. $80 for Mario Kart is outrageous. I mean, people are upset, and rightfully so. But that's the way of the world now, is everything is going to go up. I love this one. $80 for Mario Kart, but Spider-Man 2 wasn't even $80. I don't think Spider-Man 2 needed to be $80, or let alone $70. Man, I can't stand the $7 game trend. $60 is the perfect price. $80 Mario Kart. You do everything right. Hide prices and make a move for $80 games. You learn nothing. So yeah, it was weird. I mean, they didn't show pricing in the presentation. They also didn't show video game pricing, and they didn't show the console either, which is a little bit weird. And I hate when companies do that, because the second the presentation was done, all the information was out there. So I don't get why they do that. Anyways, so yeah, people are pissed, and I don't disagree with people. I don't want to spend $80 for a video game, but that seems like that's where the trend is heading now. I don't know. I think it's a dangerous precedent that Nintendo is setting right now, because we know Xbox, we know PlayStation, they're all going to follow suit here in the next couple of years, if not sooner. So that does stink. I mean, I really did feel like 60 was kind of the perfect price, and then you had maybe your double A or more of your budget games that were, at $30, $40. So I thought 60 was great. 60 bucks, and then throw in some microtransactions, throw in some costumes that people can buy, like to kind of make up for not charging an extra 20. Like we've been doing this for years, and who knows, maybe Mario Kart will have microtransactions, and then if it does, that's kind of a middle finger to me. It's very frustrating. I don't know exactly how I feel about it. We're going to be doing the podcast a little bit later on tonight to go over all the details, because it's been a crazy, crazy morning. So we're going to go through everything tonight. So come hang out. It's going to be a fun time. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you care about the prices? I think you should as a consumer. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.